Hi everyone, welcome to today's workshop. I am Dr. Lauren here with Healing Touch Chiropractic, and as you know from today's workshop title, I am going to be talking about sciatica. So, what is sciatica? First off, I want to say that sciatica is not a diagnosis. It is truly just a symptom. As many people know, sciatica is often associated with pain that shoots down the leg. And even with that description right there, it is just a symptom. The sciatic nerve is the largest nerve in the body, and it starts in your low back, runs through your glutes, through your hips, past your knees, past your ankle, and all the way into your foot. So, even just describing how long that nerve really is, there are many areas of interference that can cause sciatic nerve symptoms. So if you are somebody who has experienced sciatica themselves, or you know somebody who's experienced or possibly living with the symptom of sciatica, then you know it's way more than just leg pain. It is truly trying to figure out if it's going to be a good pain day or a bad pain day. It is taking those first few steps in the morning to see kind of how the rest of the tone of the day could possibly go. It's possibly having to say no to your children or your grandchildren because if you get on the floor, you're not really sure if you're going to be able to get back up. So, I today am going to flip the perspective on sciatica. Because again, if you thought that sciatica was a diagnosis, then hopefully I've already flipped that perspective into pointing out that it's just a symptom. But I want to talk about what sciatica really is doing and what you can do to live a more joyful life without pain. So let's get into it. All right, so one of the things that we always say here at Healing Touch is that your body is brilliant, not broken. And when pain shows up, we don't just ask, what's going on, what's wrong with your body. We ask, what is your body carrying that it just can't compensate for anymore? And so oftentimes, at least here at Healing Touch, we hear many people say, well, I just went down to tie my shoe, or I just tried to get out of the car and my back went out, and now I have pain shooting down my legs. In those scenarios, that is essentially the straw that broke the camel's back. It's not the fact that you bent over to tie your shoe, which you've done thousands and thousands of times, or it's not the fact that you had just gotten out of your car that, again, you've probably done thousands of times. It's the possibly lack of sleep that you're getting, or the stress that you're experiencing at work, or the stress that you're experiencing at home, or the stress of summer schedules being all over the place and the fact that school is starting here in about a month. It's not the activity that caused the pain to start that is the problem. It's that your body can no longer compensate and continue to take on all of life's stressors without some additional support. And that is what we at Healing Touch Chiropractic focus on completely. We talk a lot about building a body that has the capacity to live more life. And if you ask me, tying a shoe or getting out of my car is not really living a life. If that is the straw that broke the camel's back, we have a lot of capacity building to do. Pain is essentially the last symptom that shows up. Pain is the scream from your body that it really, really wants your attention because the whispers of tight muscles or feeling stiff in the morning or possibly even brain fog, those are the whispers that many people do not listen to if they even hear them. So pain is a way to really alert to your conscious mind that there is something wrong. and it needs to be addressed. And we don't do that by, taking more Tylenol or putting heat on the tight muscles and just kind of calling that the routine to get you through each day. That's not it. We need to figure out why the body is causing pain and why the body felt the need to whisper about the stiffness and the tight muscles and the brain fog in the first place. That is what we at Healing Touch do. And we do not care if you get out of pain and then not magically, but it seemingly magically just comes back. Yeah, we're really trying to change something so deep at the root. And that is not a quick fix. As much as I wish it was a quick fix, if somebody who is 35 years old comes in and they have had low back pain every single day from playing football when they were in high school, and it's just seemingly gotten worse, but if it was never addressed back in high school, the body has been compensating for almost 2 decades at that point. Unfortunately, we cannot undo 2 decades worth of compensation in even 6 months. That's really just not how the body works. If it was able to continually adapt and compensate for 2 decades, we're really asking it to do that exact same thing, but produce more efficiency and more healing within the body to feel better again in the long run. So we do not think that pain relief is the finish line. Not at all. Because we know, just because of the laws of life, that life is going to continue to throw unexpected curveball after unexpected curveball. And if we don't have the capacity to take on all those unexpected moments in the midst of what we are hoping for and planning for in life, then the life that we're hoping for and planning for may not be able to be lived out if we don't have the capacity to deal with the unexpected. So, here, and really should be everywhere, but the nervous system is the foundation. Every single thing that we do comes back to the nervous system. It coordinates our movement. It coordinates our healing. It coordinates our inflammatory responses when we get injured or if we are not feeling well. It coordinates our recovery and our adaptation. And things as simple as our balance and our hand-eye coordination and our ability to type on a keyboard. It all comes back to the nervous system. And stress comes from way more than just emotional, mental stress. It comes from poor sleep. It comes from poor posture, whether that's standing all day or whether that's sitting all day, driving all day. Many different people spend their days doing the exact same thing without much option to do the opposite of what it is that they do all day. Stress can come from, obviously, long work hours. Can also maybe not as obviously come, like I mentioned, from old injuries, from caring for your family, from really just the state of the world. And that's a heavy stress. But your nervous system, whether you know consciously or not, has to adapt to all of it. And eventually, every body reaches a point where it says, I need help. Sometimes that sounds like headaches. Sometimes that sounds like anxiety symptoms. Sometimes digestive issues or difficulty taking deep breaths. Sometimes it causes sciatic issues. For all of these, it can be a different symptom, but it's the exact same conversation where we need to build capacity. So, my favorite part of what I do is not watching people's pain disappear. That is a great perk. But when someone's pain disappears, it means that they smile more. It means that they get to come to me and Dr. Tiff and the whole team here at Healing Touch, and they get to say, I got to pick up my grandchild today, and I didn't have to think or feel like I had to brace myself to do it. They ran over to me, and I immediately scooped them up. That is one of my favorite things about what I do. So we're not just helping people here hurt less. We are truly giving them pieces of their life back. And it's usually the joyful pieces. So what does healing look like? We so super duper wish that healing was just a perfect uphill journey. Not even a battle. We just wish it was a straight uphill journey. But it is not. And sometimes healing is actually very quiet. If we take that grandparent, for example, over time, as they were under care here, they maybe didn't notice immediately that they had to start, or they had to stop bracing and preparing for that child to run into their arms. If they had started by having to say, no, please don't do that, and then one day they got a little more courage to see how they would do, and it didn't go poorly. So they just kept going and trying new things, and then one day it seems like, wow, I didn't even have to think about my pain. It's not always this loud and crazy, obvious thing. It's little moments over time that you notice you start to be again more joyful, and you can do more of the things that you want to do that bring you joy, versus planning your days around how far you can walk, or how long you can sit in a car, or if you can pick up your grandchild. You start to trust your body again. And that is an amazing gift that anybody can have. So what if your sciatica is not the problem? What if it's actually an invitation from your body to pay attention? That's the biggest invitation that it's saying, is to pay attention. But to be curious and not frustrated, although both can coincide at the same time. It's an invitation to understand what your body is trying to tell you, whether that's to just rest and take some time to slow everything down, your breathing, your heart rate, your mind. At Healing Touch, our job is not to simply make the pain stop. It is to understand what your body's essentially whispers before that painful screaming. It's what those whispers are trying to tell us about what's going on inside your body. So, if today's workshop had you thinking, that sounds exactly like what I'm going through, don't ignore that. That is one of those fairly loud whispers, because you deserve answers, and you deserve to live a life where you don't, again, have to plan your life around pain. You deserve a life of joy and fulfillment. So if this is something that you or someone that you know experiences in the way that they have to live their life, give us a call. Because we do not think that people need to live in pain and schedule things around pain. Give us a call and we will start your healing journey as soon as you're ready. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you guys soon.